I've realized on this semen retention journey that I'm starting to enjoy more controlled chaos when I wouldn't say tired, but when I get really in sync with my disciplines. I need something to break out of that cage sometimes. And controlled chaos for me is exactly what helps me still feel alive, but not put myself in a situation where something bad could happen. You know, like going out to a club or being around strangers who have no control over their feelings and emotions, no internal standards, no internal stability. And for me personally, on this semen retention journey, I have come to really like a type of music called grindcore, and not just any type of grindcore. It's a instrumental grindcore, and the reason that I like it is because it's a very, very, very loud, like type of music, very raw, very passionate, very animalistic, very primitive. But I strip out the lyrics because a lot of those lyrics do not obviously correlate with who I am and what I'm going through in my life. Like some of them are talking about a kid getting ran over, and I'm like, dude, that's not even where I'm at right now. And so when you strip away the noise of the vocals and you just get that pure music, that pure instrumental, that pure raw energy, like you're going out to war, you're just like beating up like the instrumental almost. It calms me down. It makes me feel alive, but still in control of who I am, my internal energy, my external world. And it's funny enough because in this month of April, I actually had to figure out, right? I actually stumbled across this accidentally because on Mascot Day is what I call it now. When people celebrate the bunny, right? They celebrate the mascot of the bunny. I consider it a pagan holiday. I don't celebrate holidays at all. And, you know, for those listening, it's not even the resurrection of Christ. It's like not even nowhere near the actual timeline of the Passover, or anything like that. So just in case you don't know, look it up if you don't believe me. But anyways, while people were celebrating this mascot day, right? Um, it was funny because I was out and about. I was, working at my station where I'm currently stationed right now. And it's funny because on semen retention, you could clearly see when people are performing. You can clearly see when people are just over exaggerating like who they are and how happy their family is. And I don't like performative energy. I don't like performances. And I'm like, just be real. If you literally just got in a fight before you got there, like fucking show it. Like don't try to hide it and pretend you're all angels. And so when I was at my site, I saw all these performances. I didn't like it. I didn't like the fake energy. I didn't like how everyone was like so engulfed in this fake holiday, right? And putting on fake smiles. I hate people who put on fake smiles. I'm like, just be real. Like just be authentic. And so the energy around me was just hitting me in such a way where it's like I could feel people were faking it, right? But underneath it, all the static was there and it was giving me this ginormous headache, right? And I was like, dude, I literally have to do an 8-hour shift in this ish. And so somewhere out of nowhere, I started praying to God. I was like, God, I need something. There's no way I'm going to deal with this BS, right? I started typing into AI. I'm like, AI, give me something that'll like drown out this music. And I don't know if you guys have watched the Ozarks. The Ozarks, for me, had a lot of spiritual um, nuggets. A lot of spiritual nuggets for me to absorb and to chow down, pretty much. And one of them was when Marty was like held up in a prison and they started blasting that loud music, trying to get underneath his like skin, trying to get into his head, trying to get in a breakdown. And for some reason, that specific shot, that specific scenario, that scene popped into my head, and I was like, dude, I want that music like playing in this car right now. And sure enough, I did, bro. I asked AI what the song was, it pulled it up for me, and I just started blasting it, right? Of course, I had to strip down the lyrics because the lyrics they don't resonate with who I am. But as soon as I started playing that music, the headache started going away. I shifted my environment, right? I shifted the entire environment of the site, right? None of their fake energy could penetrate the car, the patrol car that I work in, nothing. And within seconds, it was the first time I ever actually like shifted the energy of an entire complex, so to speak, an entire site, right? Just with music and my intent. It was the wildest thing ever. People started dropping their masks, and I'm like, look, now this is what I'm talking about. Like, if you want to go out and do what you do, drink, whatever, have fun, but don't put on this fake mask. Don't project an energy that you're not really feeling, and you're going to be fine. Like, just be authentic, right? To some degree, right? Because then you got low vibes that are just take that to the extreme and just get so chaotic they're not even in control. And that might be another video I talk about this on. But that is something major that I experienced in the month of April, was learning how to shift an entire entity with just music and my intent. And it's wild because in this specific area that I work in, a lot of people wear masks, they look polished, right? But I can feel all their chaos underneath the mask. And God is obviously showing me things that I need to learn, and why he put me in this environment, and things that I need to develop within myself as I continue to do my SR disciplines every single day. And so I really wanted to share that, because this journey is consistently progressing you, consistently pushing you, consistently making you step outside your comfort zones. And so with that, I am going to say some things that may rattle some cages, but I really don't care, okay? Recently, God has been telling me to stop engaging in the SR community, not to stop recording, obviously, my journey, but to pull myself out of those videos, out of the people that are currently making, semen retention videos of their journey and all that. And here's why, right? He was basically telling me that these guys, right? Yes, maybe they've retained 6, 7 months, maybe a year, whatever, right? But they don't have him as his foundation. They don't have God as the foundation. And that's the one thing that you need as you're doing semen retention. You have to have God, right? You have to walk with God. You have to have a personal relationship with him. Otherwise, you're just a man with an ego, right? You don't know where you're going. You're trying to build something based on something you think you want, but you have no real direction. You have no real guidance from the source above, right? And so this is something that he actually helped me see, right? It's like, all right, these young guys, or these guys, older guys, whatever, right? They're on this journey. They think they know what they need. They think they're, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to build this, I'm going to build that. Bro, what if God's like, no, I got something better for you? What if I have a different plan for you? And these guys are over here ego tripping, right? Being arrogant and not doing what they're actually called to do. They're building and leaning up their ladder against the wrong building. And so God was like, you need to just stop listening to them. First of all, you're already way further along in your journey than they will ever be, because not only, and I'm saying this from a humble heart, like, I'm putting in the work, I'm doing the disciplines, and I'm letting God guide me on my journey. And so that's another thing that I realize, is that just because someone does semen retention, if they don't have God, it doesn't mean they're going anywhere that they actually need to be going to. It's like having a lighthouse, right? Let's say it's being powered up, it has a light, it's generating power, but without God, it has nowhere to aim its light. It has no ships coming in or out. It just thinks it knows what it's doing, but it doesn't. It's just there. It's just shining the light up in the sky or into the sea without really having any guidance. And so that's something that's definitely been happening a lot for me in the month of April, is just getting rid of stuff, creating a leaner set of disciplines for myself, getting rid of all the noise, even getting rid of sexual thoughts in my head, just getting rid of everything that doesn't belong in the journey, to just focus on what God wants me to do, and that's it. So just straight discipline, creating chaos, creating my fun, creating the adventure within myself, enjoying life, right? And getting rid of all the noise, getting rid of everything and anything that is not aligned with this purpose. And so that is and has been the major things that I've been encountering this month. Of course, there's still a lot of other things going on, but in the meantime, this is the gist of it. So, if you guys are still practicing semen retention, I would suggest, highly suggest, that you do it with God. Otherwise, you're just going to be floating around thinking you know better, right? And I know because I used to be like that. I was at one point, before I met God, saying, "Oh, I'm going to be in the music industry. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to do it my way," right? No. I remember when I flew out to Full Sail University and I literally had the chance to go and become a music producer. I realized in that moment, with a sea full of people wanting the same thing, I heard something in my heart that said, "This isn't for you." God was already whispering to me even then. He was like, "I have something specific for you." He's like, "You don't have to compete with all these people." He's like, "Your purpose is one of one." Okay? And I'm telling you guys, your purpose is one of one. You don't need to be competing with all these people. You need to go to the Creator to tell you what your purpose is. And I kid you not, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to do what you need to do. Build that relationship with Him. Do semen retention and let Him guide you on your disciplines to become the person you need to be to accomplish that mission. And everything else will fall into place. So, in the meantime, take it easy. Take my words to heart. Talk to you next month.